Hi everyone, I'm Russ,
Mark,
and this is A Spirited Endeavor.
Prime in the Pump edition.
That's right.
All right, so we let the Wheel-O indecision guide us tonight, and man, was it just
It's been
on?
a good
It's
night.
been on, yeah.
No, we lucked out this time.
All right, so the final one for tonight, the first one you'll probably be seeing, is Knob Creek 12.
That's right.
All right, so now I recently had the Knob Creek 9. I had it at a local steakhouse, and it was a perfect accompaniment with a nice piece of ribeye.
Sure.
And man, it was beautiful. It was all the typical bourbon notes, caramel and the cherry note and vanilla, and a little bit of spiciness on this. And I'm just dying to see what the 12 brings.
Me too. Now, I haven't had any of the Knob Creeks at this point, so this will be my first one, but my understanding is that it's just a solid bourbon.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. Now, it's sort of difficult to find. Yeah, I lucked into it, and luckily one of my local stores had it just sitting there behind the counter, and I'm like, that one.
Yeah.
So, nice.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get into this one.
Cool.
Now, there isn't a lot of information on
No,
this.
there really isn't.
Yeah.
They don't provide a lot of info on their website. The main claim to fame that they're standing behind is going to be the age statement on them, which, I mean, again, in all fairness, it is fairly unusual to see that kind of an age statement on a bourbon in a lot of cases. It's just not necessary a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, 12 year. I mean, that's a lot of time in the barrel, especially in here.
Well, it's going to come down to what they did with the barrel, what kind of char they put on it, that sort of thing, how much influence that has. At 50% ABV, I'm expecting there's going to be plenty of influence.
Yeah, I expect a lot of flavor on this, and I don't know how smooth it's going to be. The literature says that it's a very smooth whiskey, so whatever they mean by that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to give this one a try.
Me too. Now I will say it is very dark.
Yeah, it is dark.
I mean, we've had sherry finishes that were about that color, and this one's just straight up aged bourbon.
Yeah, there's so much cling on that. I think it's clamped onto the glass. Yeah, that's a really, really dark whiskey. I did a pour because I really want to try this one with some water.
Yeah, well, I think
afterward, and I think there's going to be a lot of flavors that are going to be teased out of this.
Agreed.
Okay, so it's actually a little more restrained on the nose than I would have expected.
Agreed.
I expected to be kind of up front. Now there's a little ethanol in that.
There is. I'm picking up on that as well.
Yeah, but I'm not getting like really strong notes on the nose.
No.
A little perfumey, but I'm not getting that corn forward. I'm not getting a whole lot of sweetness, honestly.
No, I think the ethanol for me is the dominant thing that I'm noticing right off the bat. Aside from that, I'm getting, a little bit of corn to it, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
But it's mild on the nose.
Yeah, I'm getting just an overall sweetness.
Yeah.
Like a sugary, like maybe brown sugar sweetness. And that's, once I get past the ethanol, that's what I'm getting as predominant on the nose.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
I mean, I was expecting a little bit of spiciness from the barrel. I didn't get a lot of that. So, I mean, there was just a little sweetness on the tongue, and then kind of like around the sides, there's a little bit of spiciness, not a lot, just a little bit, like a little white pepper note, and then caramel, vanilla, cherry.
I would have to agree. I mean, my experience pretty much mirrors yours. Got a little bit of oak on the tip of the tongue and the sides of the tongue, but not in any way overpowering. A lot less than what I expected, given the age statement on this one. But yeah, to me it's caramel. It's maybe a hint of maple. Definitely some cherry there.
Yeah, maple. That's a good call.
It's
that's a nice note. Not as complex as I expected it to be.
I agree. It's a solid bourbon. Don't get me
Solid.
wrong. It is definitely a solid bourbon. But I agree. I kind of expected a little bit more depth and complexity out of this one.
Now I think the 9 was a little more lively than this. This is it's a nice sipping bourbon if you don't want to be challenged. Now
Yeah.
going back on the notes, I'm getting a little tobacco note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that sweetness and everything, but like a little tobacco note, similar to like a Swisher Sweet, like a
Yeah.
cherry Swisher Sweet. So it's got that tobacco note, the cherry, a little bit of like vanilla in there.
For me, going back a second time, the nose got more interesting, but the palate got less interesting.
Yeah.
Because I acclimated to it after the first sip, and now I feel like I'm getting a little bit less the second go around than I was initially.
Yeah, it's actually gotten less interesting.
Agreed.
Wow.
Maybe some water will help.
Let's do it up.
I mean, it's got the ABV for it, so.
All right, let's hydrate.
But yeah, interesting that the nose perked up on the second go around, but the
palate
taste actually
yeah,
backed
trailed
off.
off.
Well, you acclimate a bit, but
Oh, now that brought something interesting to the party.
I got a little floral on it.
I got a little floral, yeah. Little floral, little oakiness on that now too. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a like an oily, oaky note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. No, you can definitely get the oak on the nose.
Yeah, that now that's there. I think water teased that out.
When it pushed the ethanol back too, I think.
It did, yeah. So now I'm getting more of a, I think maybe what's intended on this one.
Yeah.
Maybe this one just needs some water. No.
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 No, I've got to say I'm a little disappointed on the taste.
Yeah.
First taste, I think was my favorite because it was new to me, and again, not a whole lot of depth to it, but a solid bourbon. And I still think it's a solid bourbon. But going back at it, once I've acclimated to everything, it's just kind of okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's about where I'd put this one. I'm a little disappointed by that.
Little disappointed with it. Yeah, this one was kind of hard fought, and I came upon it completely by accident.
Yeah.
And man, I just snapped it up, and I'm glad I did.
Oh, absolutely.
But wow, there's other things I prefer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens when we go back to this one. But I got to say, there are other bourbons I would reach for.
Honestly, I'd reach for the 9 first.
Interesting.
I would reach for the 9.
I could see that, though. I could see where perhaps the youth would bring some additional notes and some additional flavors. I think the extra time in the barrel may not have done this one any favors.
Yeah, I think if anything, it maybe tamped it down. It may have just, brought it down too much.
Yeah. Well, that is a risk that you run, especially here in the U.S. with our climate swings compared to like a Scotch in Scotland where things are fairly mild weather-wise.
Yeah, and fairly consistent.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Wow.
Well, on our scale, what do you think?
I'm giving it a 2.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm going 2.5 on it. Look,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's not a bad bourbon. I just didn't think it was all that. I've had other bourbons that are perhaps a little bit more accessible that I think I would grab before this one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of with you on that.
At least based on this taste. Now, again, we may come back to this one, revisit it, and find that perhaps we were a little off.
Oh yeah, and we will revisit it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I think maybe some pairings and everything would help with this one. I think something eating like dessert or a steak.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Considering dinner earlier, this could go nicely with some meat, like a steak, something.
Yeah,
of that
for
nature.
sure. Yeah, I think it would hold up well to that. I don't think it would overpower your steak.
No.
I think it would be a nice accompaniment to it. I think it needs something to go with it.
I would agree. Yeah. Well, very interesting nonetheless.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. All right,
Take care.
see you on the next one.